Welcome to this webinar on how to understand commercial scrubs and what are the use cases. We will do this as a conversation, which means that for the next 35 to 40 minutes, we will walk through the content. Uh, we will walk through the content on this matter. At any point in time, if you have a question, please post your question on the chat facility that we will answer those questions at the end of the session. So we have reserved about 10 to 15 minutes, uh, uh, 10 to 15 minutes to answer the questions. I will try to answer as many questions as possible in as complete a manner as possible. If after that you still have questions, please do mail in your questions to interact@criphighmark.com. Interact, INTERACT, at crif, CRIF, highmark, HIGHMARK.com. With this context, I will now project the content and I will switch off the webcam. I will be back on the webcam when I answer the question. So, as I said, it's a conversation for beneficial outcomes. So, the way we will construct this is actually to go through the use cases, then to understand what is the output to satisfy those use cases, and finally, to understand what is the process that you need to start using this output. So, what is a scrub? A scrub is essentially a a review of the credit profile of customers that you have either underwritten and accepted or customers that you have rejected. It is an offline process, which means that it does not record itself as an additional inquiry on the customer whom you are reviewing, and therefore it has no possibility to impact the credit score. While this is true for both individuals and non-individuals, or consumer and commercial, whichever term you are comfortable with, we will focus on the commercial scrub. And the first use case of the commercial scrub is the first use case of the commercial scrub is actually to risk segment your customers. One of the most powerful tools that you have from a risk segmentation standpoint is essentially a credit bureau score. Most of you are used to using a credit bureau score on the consumer side. CRIF also has a credit bureau score on the commercial side, or a credit bureau score for non-individuals. This credit bureau score, like the consumer credit bureau score, is calibrated on a scale of 300 to 900, as is prescribed by the Reserve Bank of India. It covers entities with an aggregate exposure from 10,000 rupees to 10 crore rupees, which essentially is a large segment of the population to whom you will give a loan, because it effectively then is a proxy for turnovers of covering turnovers of up to 200 to 250 crores. And for entities which have an aggregate exposure of either less than 10,000 or greater than 10 crores, it automatically gives a rank on a scale of 1 to 5. As a lender, you don't need to tell CRIF whether you want the score or the rank. If you do a commercial scrub with CRIF, you will automatically get either the score or the rank based on the aggregate exposure of the entity that you are reviewing. The second use case is actually to manage the limits on the existing trades or the existing facilities that you have extended. How do you do that? The scrub does not just give you the score. The scrub gives you a summary. What does that summary cover? It covers the credit mix, which is to differentiate between fund-based and non-fund-based facilities. For this differentiation, you will get exposure, you will get worse delinquency status, you will get limits. So therefore, you can use this information to actually check the credit mix, to check the delinquencies on each type of credit mix, and then to decide how you want to control the limits that you would have already extended. You can also use the same information to increase the total relationship value or the share of the wallet that you have with your customer. Because the scrub may essentially tell you if the customer is actually doing a loan against property of a certain value outside, while the customer may actually just be doing term loans with you. And if you have loan against property as a product in your basket, you can use this information to determine the suitability of the customer for a balance transfer in. You may also find that while that customer is actually doing short-term loans or working capital type funding with you or overdrafts with you, the customer is actually involved with other lenders in completely different types of credit. Excuse me. So it gives you an opportunity to diversify the credit mix that you have with your customer. Diversification of the credit mix is beneficial from two aspects. It often has the opportunity to increase the total relationship value, and diversification of the credit mix essentially gives your portfolio a distribution into different asset types, the underlying delinquencies of which may be completely different. And therefore, you are actually diversifying not only the business on your portfolio, you are also diversifying the risk on your portfolio. The next use case of the CRIF commercial scrub is that it allows you to monitor the performance of key management personnel associated with the entity. Why is this information important? Because if you look at the borrowing pattern of the MSCs or SMEs or even limited companies up to a certain turnover, the borrowing begins in the name of the company only after a certain turnover is reached. Prior to that, borrowing is in the name of the promoter or the key directors in their own name, even if it is a borrowing for a productive purpose. Therefore, when you are evaluating a borrower or an applicant that you have rejected from a suitability standpoint, it is not sufficient to just look at the borrowing history of the non-entity. You must look at the borrowing history of the non-individual, which is the entity, as well as the borrowing history of individuals who are associated with the organization. It is only when you combine these two that you are able to arrive at a portfolio action or a policy action that is beneficial for you as a lender. The challenge that you may think will arise is essentially how do I identify the key management personnel? So, I identify the key management personnel through two or three different ways. You may have reported as part of your commercial credit bureau submission co-applicants or guarantors on every credit facility. The RBI prescribed commercial bureau data submission
allows you to do that. So if as an organization you are not doing that, I would encourage you to engage with stakeholders within your organization who do the data submission and make use of the placeholders to report the co-borrow to report the guarantor or co-applicants on every credit facility. Similarly, you have the possibility to report directors on an entity to whom you are lending. So this is information that you have reported. We will find additional linkages from any verifiable, scalable data source to which business entities are required to submit their filings. An example of such a data source is the Ministry of Corporate Affairs website, from which we can find additional linkages, and for them also we can provide you the credit profile. The next use case is actually regulatory fulfillment. So if you have suit filed willful defaulters on your portfolio, we service the regulatory need where you need to identify their complete network and look at their complete exposure. For practitioners on this call who are from the policy side, who are from the analytics side, the Scrub is a great enabler for three things. One is to understand the tightness or looseness of your underwriting policy. You do that essentially by not only running your accepted portfolio, but also running reject basis, and you do a reject inference on that. From a portfolio optimization or a capital optimization standpoint, the Scrub is very helpful in helping you do an early warning modeling. The Scrub run on your portfolio uh, at multiple points in time, and your combined with your portfolio benchmarked against your peer group can actually help you develop a score that predicts the distance to default, in addition to using the credit score, which is predicting the probability of default. And therefore, a corollary of this use case is actually credit loss forecasting. Now we have customers who work with us essentially on all of these, and they work with us either to say that you can give me the data and I will do my own work, or you give me the data and you help me do the analytics on this also. And that analytics can actually be data segmentation, or that analytics can actually be predictive analytics as well. The other use case essentially is to understand where you have an opportunity to increase your collections. How do you do that? You do that by looking at borrowers who are not paying you, but who are actually paying facilities that they are servicing with other lenders post defaulting with you. You also look for incremental contact information for key management personnel, because in SME collections, if you reach out to a phone number of the company, it is unlikely that you will get anything. You need to know who are the key management personnel who are today running that company. Where are they contactable? What are the kind of credit facilities that they have, for you to actually develop a collection script that allows you to reach out to them and remind them that their business entity is actually defaulting, and at some point it will come back to impact their individual credit scores if they are reported as co-borrowers or guarantors. So to recap, your first use case is actually risk discrimination using the commercial credit score. Your second use case is to manage the limits that you have on existing trades. Your third use case is actually to identify opportunities to increase total relationship value. Your fourth use case is to do a more comprehensive assessment and arrive at a better portfolio action by looking at the entity as well as key management personnel. Your fifth use case is actually to fulfill your regulatory needs in terms of identifying complete linkages for borrowers who are suit filed or willful defaulters. Your sixth use case is actually to look at policy levers. And your seventh use case is actually to better your collections. So, what do we provide as the output that helps you get these use cases? The first is that we search everywhere. As I said, you need to search for the business entity as well as key management personnel, and therefore we search in the consumer bureau and the commercial bureau. We have a score. The score, most of your institutions are using the consumer credit score, and you use the consumer credit score essentially to discriminate and take a portfolio action. You use the commercial credit score in exactly the same way. It is a very powerful tool to arrive at a portfolio action. Then you use the summaries that we spoke about. What are people doing with you? What are people doing with other lenders? In this, further, what are people doing on funded? What are people doing on non-funded? In this, in funded, what is the total exposure? What is the total utilization? What is the worst delinquency? When was the worst delinquency given? You get an executive summary in your PDF so that you can understand very easily what is the health of your portfolio, what is the residual risk of your portfolio, what percentage of borrowers are solely borrowing from you. And of course, when you ask for the detailed data, which is essentially the credit facility level data, we support you with a glossary that explains each and every column that comes in that detailed data file, as well as a list of catalog values for any columns where a catalog comes. And of course, you have incremental linkages. The linkages is essentially very importantly for the key management personnel. The key management personnel is not only limited to personnel that you have reported in the bureau, but also personnel that we can link using information furnished by the same business entity that you are reviewing to authorities or to statutory bodies to whom they are necessarily required to submit information. So we spoke a lot about the score. What is the score? As I said, the score is on a scale of 300 to 900. It is divided into 13 tranches, which means what? That let's say, for example, 300 to 900 is divided into 13 grades. And why are they divided into 13 grades? Because each grade is associated with a certain probability of default. These 13 tranches are grouped into 5 risk classifications. The risk classification essentially tells you, it converts the tranche into a very low risk, a low risk, a high risk, a medium risk, or a very high risk. The output contains not just the score, because just understanding a number, whether it's a 650, a 700, a 750, a 800, a 850, does not allow you to do any portfolio action. You can only do the portfolio action if you know what is the bad rate or the probability that someone will go 90 plus within the next 12 months if someone is scored at 650. Similarly, what is the probability at 700? What is the probability at 750? And thirdly, what in CRIF's view does a score of 750 mean? Is it very low risk, medium risk, high risk, or very high risk? At this point, I would like to remind you that if you have any questions, you can use the chat facility to post your questions. Once again, if you have any questions, you can use the chat facility to post your questions. So what are the investments that you need to do as a lender to use this? The first investment is that you must identify people in your organization to understand the output. And why do I say you need to understand the output? Because the output contains an executive summary which is in the form of PDF. The output contains a data file which needs to be read and segmented. So once you identify the personnel, you need to understand how you are going to consume your data. Data consumption, essentially from our experience, can also happen on an Excel on which you may run pivots and do the segmentation. Or in some cases, you may actually need to build the data lake, and it is totally dependent on the size of your customer base. You need to also evaluate whether today, what is your, you also need to evaluate what is your process today to consume the commercial scrub if you are consuming the scrub. Whether you have any models that identify portfolio actions, whether these models are actually bureau agnostic or specific to one bureau. If you don't have any models, then you may actually start the consumption through data segmentation. And that data segmentation, CRIF can support you if you provide those requirements upfront. So an example of a data segmentation which we did recently for a large bank was essentially to filter customers above a certain credit score, and on top of that, actually provide only those customers whose funded exposure had changed by a certain degree within the last 12 months and who had at least a secured exposure of up to a certain amount. So it's an example of a data cut that we have supported with to enable the segmentation and to help customers to actually use this data. We can of course support this. The data interchange is essentially the methodology on how you actually submit the data and you actually get the output. Data transmission happens through a secure FTP. That secure FTP essentially allows you to actually upload data of customers that you want to review. If you are actually reviewing your portfolio, you can actually provide an account number. If you are reviewing people that you have rejected earlier, you need to provide the demographic. The output is placed back on the secure FTP. And when I say the output is placed on the secure FTP, the output consists of, as I said, two different things. One is the executive summary. The second piece is the data file. And uh, the third piece is actually any specific data cuts that you are uh, uh, that you may be requesting. And what allows you to come to this, what allows us rather to come through, to come to you through this webinar and say that we can service this need. We can of course service this need because we have the largest coverage of records in the country. We have about 46 million records for businesses which we review, and we have about 1900 million records for individuals which are searched to create the key management personnel linkages. Our consumer score or our commercial score, the consumer score is for the key management personnel, the commercial score is for the entities that you are reviewing is built by a regional center of excellence for analytics, which has more than 50 plus data scientists. And they are the persons who are building the credit bureau scores for our markets in Southeast Asia and the Middle East, as well as working on custom projects for whether it's a unsecured business loan or a loan against property for multiple customers in India. We have a large user base, so it is not that we are coming to you with a concept. We are coming to you basis proven experience. We have 1,000 plus customers whom are invoiced every month. So more than 1,000 lending institutions use CRIF Highmark Credit Bureau services every month. The users of the commercial bureau includes the unmerged PSU banks, the merged PSU banks, the private banks, NBFCs, housing finance companies, small finance banks, new age lenders focused on SMEs. So we have an industrialized capability to deliver the commercial scrub. We deliver the commercial scrub using the differentiators being a combination search, the differentiator being uh, the differentiator being a combination search, the differentiation being a commercial credit score, the differentiation being uh, a easy to use summary, the differentiation being our ability to provide you any custom data cut that you need to use this for a portfolio action. The differentiation uh, being the fact that to run a portfolio scrub or a commercial scrub, you can just provide us account numbers. You don't need to go back to your teams to say that give me the demographics of these borrowers, and we will run it for you. And using these differentiation, you can solve for multiple use cases such as risk segmentation using the commercial credit score, such as such as limit management using the summary that is available for honest offers further broken down into funded, non-funded, for funded, non-funded, further broken down into exposures, utilizations, delinquencies. You can increase your total relationship value. You can look at your policy levers. You can fulfill the regulatory requirements for suit filed willful defaulters. You can understand or take a more holistic, you can take a more holistic portfolio action by looking at the history of the entity and the key personnel. And of course, you can enable collections. We are open for a conversation. While I try to answer the question that we have received till now, I would request you to still continue sending your questions because we have time and we can answer that. For any further questions which we may not be able to answer, the email ID once again is interact@crifhighmark.com, or you can reach out to your account managers or reach out to us on LinkedIn for any specific possibilities that you want to engage with us. So let me try to answer the question. The first question that I'm going to answer, and the first question that I'm going to answer is essentially um, a question that says, what is the history or historical data that can be provided with the scrubs? The scrub essentially will give you a view into any trade line or any facility that the customer has ever taken. For every facility, you will get a history of, let's say, delinquencies, utilization, amongst other things, for the last 24 months. And for a facility that is currently being serviced, these 24 months will be from the date of last reporting of that facility. For a facility that is closed, it will be 24 months backwards from the date of closure. I have tried to answer the question basis what I understood is the question. If you have a follow-up, please post it on the chat window and I'll take that follow-up. The next question that I'm going to answer is, do we need to provide separate file for promoter directors? And part 2 of this question is, if yes, can you build on the missing data? Okay. So if you provide the account number of the entity, then we will find whether you have reported co-borrowers or guarantors with that entity. So for whatever we find in the credit bureau, we will anyways run the scrub. We will further, as I said, go to a data source like the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and other data sources to find additional directors that you may not have reported, but who are today recorded as directors on those sites, and we will provide you the output or the commercial scrub for that piece also. So we can build on the missing data. We use, as I said, verifiable, scalable data sources to actually build these linkages and provide you that output as part of the commercial scrub. You may, for example, also have reported co-applicants in the Consumer Bureau. Generally, if you do that, then across the Commercial Bureau and the Consumer Bureau, you would keep the account number the same. So we will also identify that linkage in the case that we don't find any co-borrowers or guarantors or promoters or directors reported for a business entity that you want to review in the commercial bureau. So we will build the linkages as is available in the bureau, irrespective of whether that linkage has been reported by you in the commercial bureau or the consumer bureau. We will further plug the missing pieces from the verifiable and scalable data sources, and we will provide you the combined output. The next question that I'm trying to answer is, can we get the bad rate mapping for score and rank? Yes, you can get the bad rate mapping for score and rank. Please reach out to your account manager and we will get this information over to you. Okay. Let me go to the next question. I see that Mr. Neil George has raised his hand. Can I just answer the remaining questions and then take your question? Okay. Give me a minute. Provide separate file. What is the history? What is the history? How will the commercial scrub be? COVID. Okay. Show screen. Show screen. Show screen. So the next question that I have is, how will the commercial scrub be helpful during COVID? I think it is important to understand that any portfolio action or any assessment that you do post COVID needs to have a benchmark. And that benchmark actually is what is the position today before the moratorium data has come in. So the first usefulness of you running a commercial scrub now is actually to know what is your portfolio position before the moratorium has kicked in. Then then essentially you have two pools of borrowers. The two pools of borrowers are essentially people who have opted in for the moratorium and whom you have given the moratorium. The second pool is people who opted in but you did not give, and the third is who have not opted in. So then on a continuous basis, once you have your benchmark, which is before the moratorium kicks in, you choose to monitor these pools and you see what is the differential delinquency that you are seeing on these pools. That differential delinquency should be monitored on your book as well as outside your book, because the difference in your book and outside your book could actually boil down to a communication plan or a collection efficiency comparison between what you are doing as a lender and what others are doing as a lender. If you build up this data over a period of time, you will have the possibility, let's say in 6 to 8 months time, to actually build a stress model, because you have looked at cohorts who were benchmarked prior to COVID, so everything was equal here. Then you have the cohort which is moratorium opted and granted. You have the cohort which is moratorium opted but not granted, and you have the cohort which is moratorium not opted. So essentially, from the same position, you are looking at cohorts who have indicated their ability to survive stress in differential capabilities. And if you monitor these cohorts now today, in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 to 8 months data will give you a stage one stress model that you can go back and apply on your portfolio. That I think is really the value of looking at a scrub during the COVID. Most of us lenders think that the scrub would actually be helpful once we get the moratorium data. That by itself is not very beneficial. You must have a position, a view into what you are doing, either in terms of delinquency, in terms of share of wallet, or in terms of residual risk before the moratorium. And then you must monitor these cohorts continuously in the months post COVID, and then you will know what is the differential if you get this kind of borrower. I will go on to the next question, which is to say that, okay, financial. Okay, there are a lot of questions. Let me see, show answered question. How do I take this out? Okay. So my client with ridership and partnership firms. So what are the sources to check the key details? Okay. So proprietorship and partnership firms, essentially the key personal details are essentially found largely from the credit bureau. This is this is the place where you must search the consumer bureau and the commercial bureau, because these are customers who have definitely borrowed in their own name. So a lot of your linkages, a lot of your exposures, you will actually come to know essentially by just doing a bureau search that is across commercial and consumer bureau. The other thing that you may actually find sometime is that uh, you have given a PAN, and that PAN is interchangeably used between the proprietor and the proprietorship. Now that is where we find the linkage, uh, not from the bureau, but again from a verifiable, scalable government source to find out uh, who is the person associated with the PAN, and then identify that person and give the scrub. The follow-up question: how can you run this scrub basis account numbers only, as account numbers are unique to the data requester? You are absolutely correct that account numbers are unique to the data requester. So when you actually, as a lender, when you send us a file saying I want to run account number 137856170, and you have submitted the same account number to us as part of your monthly submission, we will look into your submitted data. We will find out that account number. We will find out which is the business entity corresponding to that account number, and we will demographic information that business entity to find all their borrowings across all the lenders. So the account number is a starting point for us to build the input to the search across all the lenders. Next question is, okay, let me just, uh, can you please explain new age lenders? New age lenders are essentially lenders who uh, have who are focusing largely on cash flow based. They are more advanced users or more extensive users of data in their underwriting, um, and their fulfillment is partially digital. Please elaborate on tranches, like what's the need of them and how is it helpful in risk categorization. So the tranches essentially are let me rephrase this. The tranches essentially tell you that uh, the tranches essentially tell you what is the risk associated with a certain score. As I was saying, that the risk associated with a certain score uh, will be different across different tranches, because a score of 650 to 680 may actually mean that if you actually uh, if you actually do 100 applications or 100 sourcing in that tranche, maybe 5 of them will go 90 plus in the next 12 months. So let's say this is tranche 1. The next tranche is 681 to 720. And 681 to 720 may essentially tell you that only if you take 100 applications, only 2.5% of that will go bad. So a score in the range of 681 to 720 has a different implication for how your portfolio is going to look like versus a score of 651 to 680. And that is why you need to know what is the bad rate associated with the score tranche, and of course whether that bad rate is actually low, very low riskiness, or high medium. The risk classification is an indicator of what happens, as we see what happens for all borrowers who are scored in that range on the CRIF bureau. So it is a guideline that is telling you that at this score, for all borrowers in the CRIF bureau, we see a low risk or a very low risk. You may still say that your 2.5% is low risk, but this is actually above my acceptable bad rate on the portfolio. And therefore, even if though you are saying that this is a low risk, I will not increase the limit on someone who is between 681 to 720. That action you can anyways take. Can we have a webinar for individual customers, especially micro enterprise segment, which is most affected in the lockdown? We will take this suggestion and we will plan for it. We will keep you in mind when we send out the link for that webinar. If the information provided is not correct and it needs rectification, how will we take it up? Okay. Information not being correct and it needs rectification. Uh, there is, of course, a support desk, an email ID that is provided to you once you subscribe to the service. You can send your request to that support desk with details of the with details of what you think is incorrect, and they will take it up. With COVID shutting finance companies and banks data reporting, so till what date will data be available? Right now, uh, a- right now, a majority of the data would be updated for February. Some data would be updated till March. By the end of this month, we actually anticipate quite a bit of data to have come in for March. So right now, you have the positions which are absolutely before the Reserve Bank said the moratorium must take into place. So positions as of 29 February are available, which is what is useful for you to know what is your current benchmark pre-COVID. It would be great to highlight use cases for scrubs for COVID situations. Yes, we did talk about that. If there is a follow-up question, I can answer that. Will you be getting companies' financial performance as well? Uh, I am assuming that you are referring to the balance sheet. Uh, uh, you will not get this as part of the commercial scrub subscription, but you have the possibility to subscribe to a service that is business information plus commercial scrub, in which we will be able as CRIF to give you this information.
Let me take the next question. On what parameters credit loss can be forecasted? Credit loss forecasting is essentially a function of three variables: probability of default, exposure at default, and loss given default. The credit score is predicting probability of default. You need to have a model that is looking at your portfolio, or if you don't have a portfolio, that is looking at who you think are your nearest competitors or your peers. That historical modeling has to be done on that portfolio to arrive at exposure at default, and finally monitor thereafter from the position of default to the position that you or that organization has written it off, to say what is the loss taken if the exposure at default was actually 100 rupees when the write-off was taken. Um, was it 30 rupees, 40 rupees, 50 rupees? What was the amount of the write-off? So it's a function that is a multiplication function of three things: probability of default, which is from the credit score; exposure at default, which needs retrospective observation of portfolio. Could be your portfolio if you have a portfolio, could be a peer group's portfolio if you don't have a portfolio, but you know who are the people that you are competing against. And then loss given default, which is an observation of the time between the default and the time when it was written off, to see how much was the balance that was carried from the time of default to what was written off. How is bureau data helpful while analyzing the early warning model? Uh, bureau data is helpful in analyzing the early warning model because your ability to develop an early warning model is dependent on few things. One is portfolio seasoning. The second is an application of an early warning strategy that has worked and not worked. If you have an early warning strategy that you think works, then if you model on your portfolio, you will not be able to build an early warning model. To build a good portfolio, it is very important to have bad. Unless you have bads, you cannot build a good portfolio. The bureau has always a proportional amount of bads relative to the overall goods. And therefore, if your early warning definition is actually 30 plus in 3 months, is 60 plus in 6 months, is 60 plus in 9 months, then the bureau is the place that has the data to actually help you get to the model. You can, of course, do that by looking at your borrower base, looking at your portfolio itself, um, but that may not be sufficient. Just Mr. Neil George, you had raised your hand. So if you have a question, we can actually take that. We have, I think, about 2 or 3 minutes. We'll do that. Uh, okay. I am still seeing about 4 or 5 different questions. We are running out of time. Uh, I will ensure that we revert to those questions uh, specifically to you, not in a generalized group, but to the presenters who have asked to the audience who have asked the question. I will ensure that we revert to you with specific answers to your questions. As I said, that if you still have questions, and it's a process of continuous communication between us as Script and you as our user community. If you still have questions, please send those questions to interact interact at crif crifhigmark.com, and we will continue to revert to those questions. Thank you. A pleasure having you on the webinar, and stay safe, stay focused, and we will get through this. Thank you.